Defence and Military Veterans Minister Thandi Modise is yet to announce the appointment of a Director General of the Military Veterans Department. The senior position has been vacant since Irene Mpolweni was suspended on March the 8th. But what are the implications of the Department of Defence and Military Veterans operating without a CEO? MP Maliyakhe Shelembe joining us now to make sense of this question. Good to have you, Mr. Shelembe, and thank you very much for your time. So the Department of Military Veterans has had no Director General, no acting Director General for a month now. How has it been operating?
Thank you very much, for an opportunity that is given, to us, especially to myself, to comment on what is happening in the DMV. Well, it is true that, on the 8th, of March, the Minister of Defense and Military Veterans suspended Irene Mpolweni, who is the Director General of the DMV. Now, what is disturbing is that it's now more than a month that the department is operating without a Director General, no acting Director General, which means currently the department is like, a helpless chicken that, no one knows what to do in terms of the communication. Now, knowing, the importance of the Department of the Military Veterans, as you know that the Act was, passed in 2011. It's almost 12 years now, but the department is still failing to provide the services to the military veterans. Now, imagine now at this point of time that the Minister of Defense can just, suspend without, thinking what's going to happen in the absence of those to be in charge to run the department. So now we, as a Democratic Alliance, have decided that the Minister of Defense must appoint the acting director with immediate effect, because if this is not done, it means now the life of the military veterans is not taken seriously. In short, they are being ignored by the department. Look, as I've said that, we have the Act in place. The Act was meant to ensure that, the recognition of the military veterans and their department. As you know, that the sacrifice that was made by them, in service of our country, we cannot, just turn a blind eye and do as if we don't see the importance of the military veterans. Now, looking to that recognition that is not being recognized by the Minister of Defense, especially improving the quality of life for military veterans and their dependents, we are concerned that, look, there is a big budget in that department, around, say, 700 million in that department. But now the department has got no Director General, no acting head in the department. What does it mean? It means now there's going to be more corruption. As you know, currently there is a big complaint from the Auditor General that the department under the military veterans, there is a lot of corruption taking place there. So now, making an example, of the corruption, if we say it's not good to have the department without a head at this point of time. We have experienced, recently that there are military veterans, who were just, brought to houses without being vetted, and also, not appearing in the national database for military veterans. What does it mean? It means now the money that is deserved for deserving military veterans is used to benefit the people who are not supposed to be benefiting in that. We have, evidence of this happening in Free State. And also we've seen the same, when we're doing oversight in Eastern Cape. So now we are very, very concerned, especially that, the delay, in providing that service to the military veterans. We have noticed that when doing our oversight, in Port Elizabeth, where we saw some of the military veterans now, they are sick, they cannot afford to go to hospital, they cannot get their pension, and you know that the issue of the pension is a big issue right now, because there is also what you call the presidential task team that was formed by the president and which was led by the former president, David Mabuza. Now, seeing, those military veterans who are without food now, and if you look now, the minister is having a plate of food on her table.
Yeah.
But what about those people who cannot, afford? Our concern is that the department without a head is going to make things worse in that department.
Yeah. What gives rise to this particular quagmire is the fact that the DG was suspended. Are we any clearer on the nature of the allegations or charges which have led to her precautionary suspension?
Well, there are other issues that are appearing, but anyway, we have not received something, in writing as a substance to us to say this is what is happening. But what we have heard is that, the relationship between, the minister and the deputy minister with Irene Polweni is not good. And again, there were officials that were suspended and by Irene Polweni, whereas the minister, I think, was not happy with the way the suspensions were done, because it's taking long. Also, the issue of what is being paid to these suspended officials, she is of the opinion that is costing the department. I cannot dwell much on that, but what have come to our attention is that the relationship between the minister and the deputy minister, including what you call and Irene Polweni, is not good. So I'm not sure, but also there are issues of pending investigation on the mismanagement of funds in the department. But it's early for me to say that now. But it was shocking to us that the Minister of Defense had just suspended the Director General with immediate effect. Well, we did receive an explanation that there was something going wrong, but we feel and of the view that the minister was supposed to plan properly, that the suspension does not affect the delivery or the provision of services to the military veterans.
So, with the allocations already announced in December by the minister to pay the benefits of the military veterans, what do you think has happened to that amount of money? Is it being distributed at this point, or is it just sitting idly in the department, or maybe being used for something else other than what it's intended for?
Well, what I can say with regard, to this, the money, budgeted for the disbursement of the pensions to military veterans, the regulations, according to my knowledge, has not been, finalized by the department of the minister. Now, it's clear that, the money that was budgeted for military veterans is from last year. It is something that, one may say the money was taken back to National Treasury, or one may say the money has been put into the next allocation for this current financial year. But on my side, I think, the money that was meant for military veterans has been used for other purposes, rather than, assisting the military veterans who are deserving. So, which is, painful, to the military veterans that in the last financial year, there was money allocated and budgeted for them, but they were not able to get that money because of the delay by the Department of the Military Veterans under the Minister of Defense. So surely I cannot say exactly where is the money, but surely now we are in a new financial year. So that's where now we are looking to it to see if the minister can finalize, or can sign the new, regulations when it comes to pension. Remember, another issue that was raised about this regulation is that the Military Veterans Act does not, discriminate the statutory forces. But when you look, to the current, regulations by the minister, it only speaks of, the non-statutory forces, which exclude the statutory forces in that format. So now we have, put, the complaint. Also, in Parliament, we have asked the question to the minister, say, how can she leave out the other forces when she's considering or reviewing the pension policy?
Now, in a letter that was written by leader of the UDM, Thandi Modise, written to Minister of Defense, Thandi Modise, regarding complaints about Irene Mpolweni, was that she was unilaterally changing service providers, negatively impacting the delivery of services to veterans. And he further alleged that the entire department had taken a cue from her lack of interest in serving military veterans, accusing her of being biased towards KwaZulu-Natal in her dealings with the military veterans. Are these issues that the Democratic Alliance is aware of and is concerned about?
Yes, we were, made aware by, as we are saying, these are the allegations that were, put on by General Holomisa. Yes, we look to those, issues, but I think, the investigation that is going to take place will give us, the true reflection of what is happening. But there are complaints, to make, an example. It's not only, Holomisa, who has, lodged a complaint about Irene Mpolweni. It's not personal. I myself, have written, to Irene Mpolweni asking, why, the call center was dysfunctional, because military veterans, when they were trying to access, their benefits in the department, no one is answering the calls. They were given, say, more than 5 numbers to use. I myself personally, as a member of parliament, tried those numbers, and they kept ringing, no one was answering. What was disturbing is that Irene Mpolweni did not even entertain or respond, to my letter, written to her. And I raised the same in the portfolio committee in her presence to say, why, you are not, responding. And, she was playing hide and seek. So I can say now, well, let's look to these allegations, because there are a lot of allegations, as I've said, that, there is also the issue of mismanagement of fund, and also that, she's not, cooperating with, the Minister of Defense and the Deputy Minister of Defense. I heard that it was very, very disturbing when we heard from the Deputy Minister complaining that, well, the cooperation and also the relationship between Irene Mpolweni and, and himself was not good. So I can, agree, with General Holomisa that, well, Irene Mpolweni, it's got a lot of, allegations that are hanging over her head.
And do you think there is political will and interest within the department to actually address these issues that are being raised by veterans? I know recently the now former Deputy President has taken a lot of flack for making promises that have just not been fulfilled. For example, around failure to pay pension payouts that were promised to groups of former liberation soldiers.
Well, on my side, I don't see the political, willingness, from the ruling party to address these issues, because you can't, tell me that the act was enacted in 2011. We are now in 2023, but the department under this, the leadership of, the ruling party, that's, where the political will must come from, are failing to implement, the act. To me, it seems, the issue of cadre deployment is one, of the problems that are that are making it difficult for the department to implement the act, because this is the act. If we say the office of the president established, a presidential task team last year, the question is, in the last 10 years, what has been happening with the life of the military veterans? I can say there is no willingness from the political side, because if there was a political willing, these issues should have been, sorted out long before. If, there is a willingness, we must accept that the ANC leadership is failing to provide or to implement the act. That's my feeling now, that, I can say, they are not willing If they are willing, it means they are failing to implement, the act, so that the military veterans and also the quality of their life is improved. That is, the problem that we have when it comes to the political willing.
Mr. Shelembe, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for coming on. That was a DA Member of Parliament, Maliyakhe Shelembe. By the way, we have reached out to the department on this particular question of the appointment of the acting DG, at least in that department, and they have promised, of course, to give us their response.